Hey, what's going on? Stokely from Sault-Saint-Dolay. It's raining out here. Thank God. The plants need the water, even though they're going into hibernation at this temperature right now. But hey, listen, man. You know, the Bible got something in it that says, it got a few things. It says one part says, you know, don't let, well, I don't really remember one part that I want to say. It says, don't let anything unclean come out of your mouth. Only what is edifying to whoever's listening to you, you know? So it's basically saying, don't say anything that's corrupting, that's negative, that's nasty, that's disrespectful, etc., etc., etc. You know what I mean? And those disgusting, nasty stuff are some of the things I enjoy saying and talking about. The ambulance is behind me. I gotta move. Whoa. So, you know, and I'm always talking about rap music, and you know, there's good rap music, and I don't want to poo-poo on rap music because it's not the only one. Rock and roll music, all kind of music right now, because you could go on. My son was listening to a song on YouTube. It's named the Muffin Song, and in this Muffin Song, it talks about in the Muffin Song, it's basically saying, I want to kill myself. That's what the Muffin Song keeps chanting, basically. And this thing is presented like children's content. And there are, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be PC about it. There are evil people putting out content like this. It has a children's presentation with adult content. It has children's presentation with self-harm content. It has a children's presentation with demonic content, spiritually, physically, and otherwise destructive content presented with a child, cartoonish, colorful presentation. And it's not just one channel, it's not just two channels. It's hundreds, if not thousands of channels putting out content like this. So it's very scary, because guess what? Even if I say to my son, I'm sorry about that, driver. Even if I say to my son, listen, please don't watch that content. He's going to school in a community, in a echo chamber, in a social group of his peers that are watching that content. Hyper-violent, some of it sexualized, demonic, self-harming content. Now, a few years ago, we weren't worried about that. We were worried about teenagers listening to rap music, teenagers and 20-some-year-olds listening to rap music. Now we got to worry about small children, toddlers, watching corrupt, poisonous content. I mean, I don't know, you know, I mean, yeah, freedom of speech is wonderful. You know, you can turn it off, yes. Ultimately, you can turn it off, but it happens in such a subversive, covert kind of way that you think it's harmless, because it's probably, you know, if you have like an automatic, if your YouTube is set up for automatic play, it'll suggest content and suggest content and suggest content. And the content that it's going to suggest at times, yeah, it's PC safe, okay, but then it could suggest some content mixed in there that's very harmful. I see a few people online that are awakening or are becoming aware of this kind of content on the internet, TikTok, so on and so forth. These things that, like, I never wanted him to watch YouTube Shorts. So he really doesn't watch YouTube Shorts because the shorts change so fast, you don't know what's going on inside of them. Shorts are similar to TikTok in the way that they go scene to scene to scene to scene, and it's another thing that also attacks your attention span. But that's not exactly what I wanted to talk about. So listen, man, if your kids are watching YouTube, I would say do your best to be vigilant, do your best to be present. One thing that, Cartoon Cat, Skibidi Toilet, other stuff like that we had to kind of eliminate. You got Huggy Wuggy, you got all kind of demonic Gardener Band where this guy, he has like devil horns. You got Rainbow Friends who has people in the group that eats your pancreas, and it's not just one little scary movie, you know what I mean? It's not just one, it's thousands, and there's copycats that copy that same content and repeat the same content over and over again. These things are widely successful. Just yesterday I saw a commercial for Skibidi Toilet toys. And if the merch is out there, then it's out there for a reason, because they've done their market research and they know that there's a market for it. You have a lot of content that seems safe, but it's not when you really look at it. And it's not going to benefit just me for me to tell my kid not to watch it, because like I said, he's in an ecosystem, he's in a group setting, he's in a community, and if the community is also consuming it, it's gonna influence him. I can't subtract him from school, I can't subtract him from interacting with other kids at the park. He has to interact. So these kids who are gonna be traumatized and, I'm gonna say, indoctrinated by content that promotes violence, sociopathic behavior, self-harm, other kind of violence and other kind of, talking about voodoo dolls and all kind of stuff like that, that I'm not a proponent or participant in. Come on, like, when you were watching G.I. Joe and you were watching, I don't know, all this other stuff coming up, it was just one simple topic when it came to like action related cartoons, and most cartoons that had like a hero in it is good versus evil, and good always wins. In every one of the Batman shows, when the old Adam West Batman, the good guy always wins. Whether it's, I don't know, Star Trek, supposedly the good guys always win. I don't want to get too much into Star Trek, but for the most part, it's the good guys win. Or if it's Tom and Jerry or Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry and Bugs Bunny is kind of, if I want to be really weird, I could say that there's something wrong with all of that violence and all of that cartoon violence, right? I mean, we were talking, people were complaining about rap music since the 90s. People were complaining about video games since the 90s. So on and so on and so forth. And I don't consider myself a zealot or a religious fundamentalist or any kind of devout anything, because, go back and listen to my stuff. I'm not a devout anything. You know what I'm saying? I like the teachings of Jesus, and I quote the Bible a lot because that's what I grew up in. That's my playbook. that's the rough guidelines that I try to comply with sometimes. I try to, as long as it doesn't interfere with my personal interests. And for the most part, I'm still going to pursue my interest, which is called sin, when you try to, do your own thing. But, I can understand that I need to be punished if I violate a law, a scientific law. Some of the Bible seems to be scientific and natural in its, in the way that it lays things down. Some of it seems ridiculous. Some of it, over time, seems ridiculous and reveals itself later to me to seem to be scientific. So anyhow, I'm just saying, Muffin Song, so much other content on YouTube is dangerous for kids. But what I really wanted to get to is that, and I wanted to say this when I did the post about words are not wind, is that we're living in different realities. We're living in different realities, man. Like, I've lived in different realities. I'm trying to adapt to the current reality. I'm trying to adapt to one reality right now. Oh, very nice. I'm trying to adapt to a reality right now, right? And it's very hard. I'm trying to adapt to daddy reality. I'm trying to adapt to middle-aged guy reality. I'm trying to adapt to domesticated reality. I'm trying to adapt to that. I'm trying to adapt to no party reality, even after 7-8 years of not really going out like I used to. I'm trying to adapt to sciatica pain in my leg and my butt reality. I'm trying to adapt to blurry vision reality, my new state of being. I'm trying to adapt to, I can't eat ice cream, I can't eat peanuts. Well, not can, but ice cream and peanuts and milk and this stuff makes me sick reality. I'm trying to adapt to, I can't eat too much sugar reality. I can't eat too much added sugar reality. I'm trying to, adapt. I'm living in a different reality than when I was younger. And like I keep saying, I'm not even chemically the same person I was at 19 years old. Chemically, I'll just be straight about it. My machine is not chemically the same machine it was. And when I say my machine, I'm not talking about my whole body. I'm talking about my machine, my favorite, my special purpose, as the guy says in the movie called, there's a movie called, I forgot what it's called, but it's got, I think his name is Bill Martin, or I forgot what his name is, but there's a guy where he talks about his special purpose. Anyway, I'm going off a tangent, right? My machine is not chemically the machine that it was at 19, 23, not even 33. So, matter of fact, not even at 40. It's not. And now I'm in my mid-40s. So, I'm slowing down. The time is not the same. The cell phones didn't exist when I was... Well, the cell phones existed since the 90s, but social media did not exist until maybe about mid 2000s, like 2005 or so. MySpace and High Five and all these things. Instant messaging didn't come around till about 99 when AOL, America Online, came out. You had Instant Messenger, you had Yahoo Messenger, you had AIM, all of these things. You know what I mean? Text messaging. That came around with the two-way phones, which came out probably around 99, late 90s. Video game consoles, that came out in the 80s, but I didn't. Yeah, I had a Nintendo in like 89. Got a Super Nintendo in like 93, 92. We have some technologies out here that totally didn't exist. Flat screen TVs and all this. yada 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 yada. The list goes on. It's not the same. I'm not the same. The world isn't the same. Nothing's the same. So we're living in different realities. You know, sometimes we adapt, sometimes we don't. But aside from our own personal evolution and adaptation to the time and the conditions that we're living in and our physical condition, we're still living in different realities. You got guys that are gang members. They live in a different reality regarding their value system. You got people of different religions. Their value system and their social network and their social constructs are different. There's people from different geographic regions that live totally different and look at life different. There's people from different economic strata that look at life differently. There's people of different professions that look at life differently. You know what I mean? A doctor is going to look at life differently from how an auto mechanic might look at it. They both fix things, but one is looking at your body and your life and what you're doing. A nutritionist is going to look at it different from a doctor. A holistic medicine person is going to look at it differently from a conventionally trained doctor, as we can see nowadays. Right? Somebody that sells alcohol, an alcohol distributor that loves what he does and just really gung-ho about it, whatever. They look at life different. And we have all something to teach each other, but let me move along though. We can all learn something from all of these people. Some of these people are dangerous though, but we can learn something from all of these people. And one thing, I'm gonna get weird anyway. I'm gonna get weird as usual. But one thing that really changes my reality like quickly is music, right? If I hear a certain song, I start to think a certain way. And I was just, people say all kind of weird stuff, so you can't really subscribe or believe everything you see on the internet. But it's encouraged to play classical music to babies, right? Even in the womb, right? It's encouraged to play classical music as therapy. And now they're saying classical music can help reduce the growth of cancer cells. So if classical music can do that, what is the heavy bass, destructive, negative, heavy metal, rap music doing? Drill, rap, and all these things. What are they doing? They're actually associated with people hurting themselves. They're associated with people using drugs. They're associated with people doing self-deletion, right? They're associated with people doing violence, harms, robberies, human trafficking, all these things. They're teaching people with the music. Now, it's just like I said, I'm listening to another person on the internet. They're like, listen, this is, and I spoke about this already. Maybe I didn't upload it. Maybe I won't upload this. I don't know. But music, according to this person that I was listening to, gives access to your most lowest vibration systems. The music gives access to your most core being. And they already said music soothes the savage beast. Well, according to what this guy is saying, music is a way to access people's inner being, their most core being. And we can kind of see that the way how music is involved in anything. Listen, you go in the doctor's office, you sit down, there's music playing. You go anywhere, there's music playing. The airport, there's probably music playing. You know what I'm saying? There's a radio in your car, right? They put music in movies. They put music in commercials. Of course, there's music on the radio. Of course. You know what I mean? The most boring places don't have music. Court, Congress, Senate, House of Representatives, they don't got no music in there. You know what I mean? Where else? The places that don't have music, we don't want to go. Broadway plays got music. I said movies already. Almost every show starts with music. Almost every presentation, when it comes to, let's say like somebody's presenting, doing a TED Talks or whatever it may be, there's music involved. Everybody's a DJ. Solange is a DJ. Shaq is a DJ. The guy from Jersey Shore is a DJ. I think a few other actors and stuff like that became DJs. Music is in everything and everywhere. The birds are singing music. Right? So the vibration is very important. So it kind of goes back to what I'm talking about with these kid shows. A lot of them have not even just the shows, but they have kids songs. Like I said, the Muffin Song. The Muffin Song is encouraging kids to do self-harm. And there's people just watching it, and in their reality, this is totally harmless. In the reality that I'm living, the reality of dad life, the reality of daddy world, I can see that this is not good. I don't want my child chanting anything pertaining to self-harm, anything pertaining to harming others, being mean to other people, so on and so forth. You know, unfortunately, sometimes you want to shelter them from this disgusting content. As a result, they're ill-equipped to see it when it's happening, or an assailant, or somebody tries to bother them, or somebody tries to bully them, or somebody tries to do something to them. They can't identify it because they're not moving on the savage level that every other drone, every other hive mind person is operating on. And that's kind of my experience. Because I remember when I had fights with kids in elementary school. Most of the kids that I was going to elementary school with lived in the projects. And I'm going to be derogatory, and I'm going to be discriminatory, and I'm going to be hyperbole. And I'm going to say most of them grew up in the projects in rough conditions where they had to fight, where they've been fighting for a long time. Me coming from a sheltered environment, being immersed in their environment now, I was not prepared for the ferocity and the intensity and the amount of hate that they fought with. I remember I was fighting with one kid on the steps. He kicked me dead in my face. I think the side of my mouth was hurting for like 3 days. You know, I had anger in me too, because I had anger in myself too, but not to that level of ferocity, because it kind of takes two to fight sometimes. I didn't really want to fight them because the sheltered environment where I was coming from, and I overheard people saying that people would just shoot people from out of the windows of the projects, all kind of stuff like that. So I was like, are they gonna shoot me or something? You know what I mean? Am I gonna have to deal with getting shot after I get into an altercation? Anyhow, but I'm a fearful individual anyway. But I got into a sufficient amount. If after a while, I think I didn't really think about that too much. But yeah, we got into a lot of fights. Most of the times I got into a fight, somebody said, "Your mother." They say, "Your mother." That's it. Then I want to fight. I want to cry also. Matter of fact, I really want to cry. But it just turned into, in some of those instances, it turned into a fight because they said my mother. I got in their face. And then when we get into each other's face, then, somebody's going to do something. And it's most times they did something. Because I was not prepared for the physicality. And they trounced me thoroughly. You know what I mean? Whether they kicking me in my face, whether they body slamming me, whether they choking me out. know what I mean? I don't think I won any fight in the whole 2 years I was at that elementary school. At that elementary school, I don't think I won not one fight. Only times I think, yeah, I didn't win not one fight. No, I'm gonna say no. Didn't win one fight at all. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know what I was getting into. I should have been more of a pacifist and a little more thick-skinned. But I mean, 11 years old. You know what I mean? It's not really. My coping mechanism was not really developed yet. And I was fighting at my schools before that too, actually. So, but the fighting at my previous schools was very much, I don't know, subdued style of fighting. It was like more, I don't know, just pushing. There was really no kicking and punching. But as years progressed, the physicality became a little more. The attacks, the hits became more. I don't know. I don't want to say lethal. They became more real. But anyhow, listen, man, don't let your kids listen to the Muffin Song. I'm gonna title this Muffin Song so I can get some viral responses. But just watch out.